At 22 years old, Derrick Rose became the youngest MVP in NBA history. He wasn't just good, he was terrifying. Explosive first step, fearless drives, and the swagger of a superstar built for Chicago's bright lights. The city finally had its Jordan replacement. Then, in 2012, his ACL snapped, and with it, so did his destiny. Every comeback attempt ended in heartbreak. More surgeries, more setbacks, more people whispering, "He's done." The league moved on. But on Halloween night, 2018, Rose dropped 50 points in Minnesota. When the buzzer sounded, he fell into his teammates' arms and cried. That game wasn't just a box score. It was a man reclaiming his soul. Grant Hill, superstar to survivor. Grant Hill was supposed to be the heir to Michael Jordan, a point forward who could score, rebound, defend, and pass. Years before LeBron existed, he was the future. Then came the ankle injuries. One surgery after another. At one point, doctors questioned if he'd ever walk pain-free again. His career was left in pieces. But Hill refused to quit. He came back as a veteran role player in Phoenix, no longer the superstar, but the survivor. His comeback wasn't about being the next Jordan. It was about proving that broken bodies don't always mean broken spirits. Dwight Howard, Superman's redemption. There was a time when Dwight Howard was unstoppable. Dunk contest champion, defensive player of the year. He carried Orlando to the 2009 finals. He was Superman. But then came back injuries, drama, and immaturity. Dwight turned into a league-wide punchline. Teams didn't want him. Fans laughed at him. His career seemed cooked. Then came the 2020 Lakers. Dwight humbled himself, embraced his role as a defensive anchor, and helped deliver LeBron's bubble championship. From superstar to meme to champion again, Dwight's comeback was as shocking as it was satisfying. Shaun Livingston, from horror to hero. In 2007, Shaun Livingston drove to the rim. What followed was one of the most gruesome injuries in NBA history. His leg bent in ways that made doctors say he might never walk properly again. His career was considered over before it had even begun. But Livingston refused to give up. Years later, he found his perfect role with the Golden State Warriors dynasty. As a steady mid-range assassin off the bench, he won 3 championships. His comeback wasn't about stardom, it was about perseverance, and proving quiet greatness matters too. Paul George, broken leg, Team USA scrimmage, 2014. Paul George leapt to block a shot. He landed with his leg snapped in half. The footage was so brutal, broadcasters refused to replay it. His career looked finished, but PG came back, stronger, tougher, and hungrier. By 2019, he was an MVP finalist, one of the best two-way players in the league. His comeback wasn't just physical. It was about conquering fear. George didn't just return. He reinvented himself. Vince Carter, the ageless wonder. Vince Carter entered the league in 1998 as half man, half amazing. His dunks made jaws drop and posters legendary. Most stars fade after a decade. Vince didn't. He evolved. From dunker to sharpshooter to veteran leader. He lasted 22 seasons, finally retiring in 2020 at age 43. Carter's comeback wasn't from injury, it was from time itself. He outlasted generations, proving that adaptation is its own kind of greatness. Carmelo Anthony, from outcast to respected vet. In 2018, Carmelo Anthony was done. Teams waived him, critics called him washed, and fans thought he'd never play again. But then Portland gave him a shot. Melo reinvented himself, embracing the role of veteran scorer. He wasn't chasing stardom anymore. He was chasing respect. And he got it. Melo's comeback was about humility. Sometimes, the biggest win is proving you still belong. Chauncey Billups, from bust to finals MVP. Drafted 3rd overall in 1997, Chauncey Billups bounced around 4 teams in 5 years. He was labeled a bust. Nobody thought he'd ever live up to his draft slot, but Billups refused to be written off. By 2004, he was leading the Detroit Pistons to one of the biggest upsets in NBA Finals history, beating the Shaq-Kobe Lakers. Billups wasn't just good, he was Finals MVP. From draft bust to Mr. Big Shot, his comeback was rewriting his entire legacy. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, feet of stone, heart of iron. Zydrunas Ilgauskas' career nearly ended before it began. Chronic foot injuries sidelined him for years. At one point, the Cavs weren't sure if he'd ever step on the court again. But Ilgauskas kept fighting. He reinvented himself, became a two-time All-Star, and anchored Cleveland's front court alongside LeBron James. Big Z's comeback wasn't flashy. Dennis Smith Jr. entered the NBA as a lottery pick, hyped as the next big guard. Explosive, flashy highlight dunks. But inconsistency, injuries, and bad situations pushed him out of the league. Now, years later, he's grinding for one more shot with the Knicks. His comeback isn't complete yet, but it's one fans are quietly rooting for.